Hey everybody, welcome to another installment of the Coffee and Codecast. This is episode 66, Coronavirus Edition number 2. I'm your host, Mike Sheehan, alongside my co-host, Kyle Johnson. Kyle, you there, buddy?
I'm here, buddy. Welcome back to the show. That was a quick cut off of the music.
Oh, it's just quiet. It's still there, don't worry.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe the levels are a little off, but they sound good over here, so we're going to trust what I'm hearing on these headphones. I don't know.
Fair enough. We got to look at your mean mug all show long again, huh?
It's beautiful, dude. Who doesn't like this look here? And we even have a little, where's it at? I got a point there. There we go. Coffee and Codecast on the wall right there, man. Repping the Coffee Codecast. I don't have my green screen, so that's why we're going old school on that one. And yeah, I just don't have a lot of the stuff that I would like to have here. I need to go back to the office after they get done fumigating, I guess, and try to grab some of my other equipment. We also need to figure out how to get your ugly mug on this screen too. We haven't done that yet.
Nobody wants to see that.
That's fine. But anyway, we have a little bit to catch up on the show because last time we had our guest, Mr. Woods, Andrew Woods, and so we ended up talking about. We got off topic in the beginning a little bit there. We're talking about New York City and the coronavirus, and then we got into PHP stuff, but we never got to the news. So we're going to catch up on some of the news the last couple of weeks, some of the tech news, try to figure out what people are doing. What are you doing to stay busy during this social distancing time, Kyle? That's what we're going to talk about a little bit today, too. And it looks like you got a few topics in here. You didn't do too bad for throwing these show notes together last minute.
I got 20 minutes in on this. It's good. We're good.
Good on you, buddy. And I'd like to give a shout out to Dave Lester. The Bagel's in the house live joining us tonight. First time live for the Bagel, I think.
Welcome to the Bagel. Hey, he could give you, the budget for your marketing merch behind you there is pretty low. I mean, maybe the Bagel could help us out with a bigger banner or something.
A banner. Yeah, we need a Coffee Codecast banner for the wall back here, Bagel. Maybe
that's right.
There you go.
Maybe like a painting. You have a new place coming. Maybe you could get like a mural.
I hope I have a new place coming. A Coffee Codecast mural, dude. That'd be fun. That'd be good. On that note, I mean, that's part of the deal, man. Like, we should follow up on that a little bit.
We should follow up on that.
That's been a pain in the ass lately. Trying to close on the condo. I talked to the lender today. This place is unbelievable, man. So the condo down here is really hurting for business right now. I mean, the owner, the builder still owns like 37 units, and he's paying.
I thought there was only like 4 left.
No. There's definitely more than that. They're just some of them are being rented out right now because they couldn't sell them right away.
Oh, okay.
I think there's 107 in the building, and there's 37 of them that are not sold. So they're either being rented or they're on market or something. But anyway, I'm going through the deal. I've got my financing lined up. It's looking good. Everything's checking out, but the appraisal came back low because of a discrepancy or whatever. Like the parking has been kind of an interesting issue. So the MLS says that there's parking included, but clearly that's not the case. They make everybody pay for parking extra, so it didn't reflect that in the appraisal. It looked like I was just paying way more for the building itself, and made no mention of paying for parking separately. So the appraisal came back low. Trying to work that out with those guys. And just the way that they've handled things, they haven't done all the paperwork with the city. So like the city, there's no record of parking being extra. And so the appraiser's having a hard time justifying like the higher appraisal because from his point of view, it looks like parking is included. So we're going back and forth on that. It's just kind of funny because they're getting really desperate. They're sending out all kinds of sales materials talking about virtual tours and white glove concierge tours and all these things that they can do for people to look at their building while on lockdown. But like I'm a captive audience. I already have an offer in. I already have financing lined up, and now they're stumbling to finish the deal. So I'm kind of stuck until they can figure out how to deal with the parking situation.
And no light at the end of the tunnel. You don't have any kind of ETA or any kind of timeline that they've given you?
No, I've extended my rate lock, so I got it in when the rates were still really low at the bottom, and they're going back and forth on email right now, trying to figure it out. But yeah, every day it's just dragging out. It was supposed to close at the end of the month, end of March, but This delayed it a little bit, so now we're hoping to close at the end of April. But we might not close at all, man. Who knows? I might just be a renter for a while longer too, so we'll see.
Yep.
It's just frustrating, man. Like I want to buy, and it's not a good time to, for sellers because there's not a very big audience. There's not a lot of people that can buy right now with everything going on, and so the fact that I'm willing and able and I qualify for it, but still they're dragging their feet is kind of frustrating.
Well, that's the thing is you want to buy, and the builder really wants to sell, right? They want to get out from underneath all of those additional units that they have, and so their white glove treatment and all the different things that they're trying to offer prospective buyers, but yet you're just getting strung along.
I'm getting strung along, and I don't fucking like it, Kyle. Yeah.
Better write a strongly worded email.
I called them last time. I might call them again. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
What are you drinking? What's your beverage of choice today, man? You cracking some Cristal over at the house or something fancy like that?
Some what?
What are you drinking? How do I open
I had
this
a
up?
couple Moscow Mules before the show.
Where is it at? I don't know all these buttons. There we go.
There you go. Denver's finest right there.
I might need to crack a Coors Light.
Colorado.
I don't have any Coors Light.
Colorado's finest.
Yeah, I have a Rainier. Could crack a Rainier.
Ooh, that sounds good. The sound's going to be different, so maybe you need to record that.
Maybe I will get one. Hang on a second.
You're just going to leave mid-show. I love it.
Hey, man, when you're only one running the controls around here, you can't just fucking wait around. No one's going to bring a beer to you, so. Oh, that sounds good.
Oh, you should have done that right into the mic, and we could have had a new sound effect.
So delicious.
Speaking of sound effects, and we have to add this to the board. I don't think we've been together since I found this, but the Joseph Bowley clip, the wacky weed clip, has made a resurgence. I found it.
You found it. Oh,
Yeah.
We're going to plug that back in for sure.
So you're gonna put that back on the board. That was a favorite.
Why don't you play it? Do you have it? Can you play it right now?
Don't know how I would make it go through. No, I don't know how to do that.
So the thing that I thought was really interesting here, man. Well, you'll just send it to me, and we'll get it up on the board next week. We could always do that.
Sure, that would work. I don't feel like if I play anything through here, unless it goes through the microphone, that you're gonna hear it.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm surprised you're not drinking anything, buddy, because this is a big topic in the news that I wanted to touch on. U.S. alcohol sales increased 55% in 1 week amid coronavirus pandemic.
Does that surprise you?
That's a big number, dude. 55%.
Well, I can tell you, I work with a team in Denver. That's where all my dev team is that I work with.
Yeah.
And in Colorado, I think it was Colorado, maybe it was Denver specifically, the government was going to shut down all liquor sales and dispensary.
Yeah, that was a big news item in Denver.
Yeah, so you couldn't get your booze, you couldn't get your edibles, your smoke, whatever you wanted to get. And yeah, people were like lining up around the block waiting to get into pick up the final what they deemed to be their final purchase of,
Dude, that's hilarious.
Yeah.
People are just like jumping in their cars. Fuck social distancing. If I don't get my hands on a handle of JMO in the next 30 minutes, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, we had a virtual happy hour at the office, and one of the guys, I swear, he had to have left to go get some booze before that was over, because it was on the same day that they were going to close down.
Wow.
Ended up being that they didn't shut them down at all. Like they reversed course, and they're still open, because, people got to have their vices, especially if they're locked up indoors. To your point here.
That was the big one-liner, man. It was two-liner on Twitter. It was 1920. Alcohol's prohibited. Can't have it in public. Can't have it anywhere. Can't buy it. 2020, alcohol deemed essential in pandemic. How much has changed in 100 years, man? Holy shit.
Yeah.
The old Bagel's giving me a hard time here. He said, "What happened to clean living?" I did tell him I was going to be doing clean living during the week. Well, to be fair, I've only had one. I guess this is my second drink this week. I was doing a little FaceTime with my friend Breyer on Monday night, and I had some Lagavulin 16. I had one dram, and now I'm having one Rain Dog. So, I mean, that's not bad for me, but to hit Wednesday, 2 drinks under my belt, that's pretty good, actually. I'm going to take that as a victory.
Well, you might have a drink or, an edible, whatever the case may be. You just go with whatever you got.
Kyle, whatever the case may be, Johnson is back again with us, man. That's how I know you're doing well. That's good. It's good to see you, dude. Well, yeah, I mean, I actually was telling some people, and I believe I'm not making this shit up. Like, I'm drinking less now that I'm at home than I was when I was before all this stuff happened.
Even with virtual happy hours?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean, definitely. Don't get me wrong. Like, I had a few on Friday and Saturday, but again, comparatively, like if I'm going out, because that's the other thing. I do a few virtual happy hours, but back in the day, like before all this stuff happened, it wouldn't be uncommon to go out to the bar like at 3:30 on a Friday and then stay out until 11:30, 12:30, 1 in the morning. Like I'm not sitting here drinking until 1 in the morning, you know? I'm doing a few virtual happy hours and then that's it.
Well, I figured, good buddy like yours, the bagel there, would pick up the bar tab once in a while.
Pick up the bar tab?
Yeah.
For what? What do you mean?
For you, so you didn't have to pay so much when he ushers you down to fuel.
Did he? Oh, because he's twisting my arm to come down?
Yeah, exactly.
He doesn't twist my arm that much. Bagel's gotten my back a few times. He's good about that. I got some other stories for another time for you, but not with the bagel. He's pretty good about that. We got Zach Servey over here from Denver too. What's up, Zach Servey? How you doing? You saw my post that I made on Facebook and we can share this with everybody too. But Fender, our good friends at Fender, they don't sponsor the show, but they had a special going on right now that for the first 100,000 people that sign up, you get 3 months of Fender Play guitar lessons for free. That was pretty cool. So Zach signed up for that. I signed up for that. I don't have a guitar. I need to get a guitar.
That's what I was just going to ask. What are you going to Amazon Prime a guitar? Well, it's not going to make it to you until the end of the month.
April 22nd. So I ordered some stuff on Amazon this morning, and interestingly enough, they say, might not be available to the end of the month, but then it showed up earlier. So I don't know what items it applies to, but I ordered some books and a few other things, some study materials. I'm doing a little study over here, and that shit got here quicker. It wasn't 2 days, but it didn't take a month either.
We got Matthew Schleier in the house here.
The old Schleier's joining us here. He says, what does he say?
Bottom right there, buddy.
Is it bottom right?
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
You're doing great.
There you go. Thank you.
You always know that one's coming because you hear Mike do a little grunt ahead of time.
Yeah.
You're doing great.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Didn't realize Dave is bagel. Yep. There's only one bagel. We just outed him here on the Coffee and Codecast, Dave Lester. And he'll join me in the Barry guesses too.
Yeah. Well, what do you think? We have this awesome show here with hundreds and thousands and millions of listeners. What do you think? What do you think this pandemic is doing to podcast listening as a whole?
If alcohol sales are on the rise, I can only imagine what happened to podcast listening as well. It's got to be going up there.
Got to be going up. You'd be incredibly wrong. It's going down.
Is it really? Bullshit.
Yep. No, it is going down. And I think the biggest reason for that is because people are no longer commuting, so they're no longer listening to them on their commutes.
Okay, that makes sense to me because, yes, a lot of people listen on their commutes, on the subway, in the car. But I'm surprised. I guess streaming video is just shooting through the roof then. People are watching on Netflix and television.
Exactly. To me, I would think the two would kind of trend together. Because I listen to a lot of podcasts during work or as I'm doing chores or whatever around the house, walking the dog.
Yeah.
Those types of things. And so I would have thought that it would have trended up along with Netflix and YouTube and all these other streaming services. But no, quite the opposite. It's going down pretty substantially, like 20%.
I would have to say our listenership is on the rise. We have almost double digits on right now, which is pretty good for us.
We got a captive audience, dude.
Yeah, we do. I'm all the more impressed that Slayer's even tuned in, and I just got a photo from Ginger. I'll have to send to you. Ginger's Slayer's wife, and we're on the big screen at the house over at the Slayer house right now.
Oh wow!
Well,
watch
I'm on the
party.
big screen. You're not, but I am.
Literal watch party.
Yeah, watch
that's
party
true.
over there at 712. Doing a little mirroring from Facebook. Yeah, exactly.
I love it.
So they got that going on, but. All the more impressed that when I was talking to him on FaceTime about 30 minutes ago, he asked me what the topic was for today, and I said, we don't have shit. We didn't talk about anything, so I have no idea. And he's still here listening anyway, so that's great.
Pretty much we never have any topic. That's like the rule of the show, isn't it? Kind of?
Yeah, that's
how
we maintain our status as the Seinfeld of podcasts, man. It's a show about nothing. We talk about this, right. We talk about that. And fucking Kelso's on, dude. We got some East Coast listeners as well. I love that shit. Kelso, how you doing, buddy?
So another topic here I wanted to bring up, and this is more local to my hometown here, back in the good old northwest corner of Iowa. Given the quarantine there, although they're not quarantining very well in Iowa, from what I understand, a bunch of people from my old high school are doing what they call a quarantine sing-off, which is like, effectively, it's karaoke with social distancing involved. So in other words,
does that work?
karaoke via like posting on Facebook.
Like you do your own karaoke in your own house and you post it on Facebook?
You got it. Exactly. I'm going to post it here in the chat. And it's actually, some of them, if you go through this thing, I don't know, maybe you can't see them. I'm not totally sure. Maybe they're protected by, whatever, some sort of permissions. But they're pretty well produced. Some of them, they have props. They have somebody filming them very clearly. There's a lot of movement. Like, it's not like just static, somebody shooting with really poor audio quality or anything like that. They're really well produced. I thought you would appreciate these because it's right up your alley. You should join in.
I don't know, man. I like doing it in front of a live audience, personally.
You could make it a Facebook Live. I mean, why not?
It's not the same, though. Like, I'm saying I get my energy from the crowd, man. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
People feeding me Jell-O shots when I'm up on stage and that kind of thing, and just like getting amped up. Yeah, that's the yeah. There you go. Lex wants to know where your contribution is. I'd like to see you post one of those. Actually, that'd be pretty fucking awesome if you did one.
Well, here's the deal. I don't do karaoke. I don't do singing online. So
Why not?
It's just not my thing. This is where I get my voice to be heard, not on the stage.
Kyle, this is a new time. It's time to experiment, try some new things, get out of your comfort zone a little bit. What would you do?
Advice, buddy.
What would you do if you were going to do a song there? What would tell me what song you would come up with?
Oh wow, that's a loaded question. I don't even know. I don't know.
What genre? Would it be like a rock song, classic? You wouldn't do any hip hop, would you?
I feel no, I wouldn't. Well, I could do some West Side Connection. Would that be fun?
Oh, Kyle Johnson singing "Bow Down."
That's right.
Boom.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was listening to that the other day.
That needs to happen.
Which, by the way, this leads me to another point that I had no idea existed. Me and Connor, I don't know if Connor's available or online here, but
Connor
we were
Peavy.
discussing. What's that?
Connor Peavy.
Connor Peavy, that's right. He was asking me if I had come up with any new habits or skills while we've been in quarantine or lockdown, and I told him my yodeling was getting really good.
Oh God, I don't want to hear that. You keep that.
And from that, he informed me that there is a dubstep yodeling like subgenre.
That seems interesting to me.
Exactly. I had to look, right? And it's exactly what you'd expect it to be. You should see if you could find some of that and pull it up during the show at some point.
Tell you what, if you have the words.
You're gonna get kicked off this.
I'll pull it down before it gets too late. They need like 30 seconds of audio before they shut me down. Come on, you gotta do that, anyway, dude. Like that would be the fucking funniest thing to see you. Dude, you got to go out prepped up, too. Like, you should wear, like, your work shirt or something like that. You know, tuck it in and sing Bow Down, dude. Put it on this Facebook karaoke channel.
I'll make sure to tuck my shirt in before we do that.
I would if you're going to do it, man. I don't give a shit. What other, like, rich content do we have for the audience tonight here?
What? Rich content, huh?
Yeah. Kyle Johnson, we did virtual pub trivia on Zoom last night. It went pretty smooth. Oh, that's cool.
That would be cool. I would have joined in on that.
Yeah, that would be pretty sweet, actually.
That's actually a great idea.
Yeah.
It's kind of, do like Geeks Who Drink via Zoom.
Exactly. Yeah. I was talking to Slayer about this, too, so I'm going to steal his idea here, but I agree with him 100%. Like, the reason why Zoom's winning this war is because they have much better multi-person layout, like a video grid. You don't get that with Teams, dude. What the hell is the deal with Teams?
They're getting there, man. They're slow to adopt. But yeah, I mean, on Zoom, you can have I don't even know how many videos like in little boxes on the screen, whereas Teams, it's like limited to 4.
Yeah, that's the problem. I don't understand that. Because it's not, I don't think technically it's that hard, right? All you're doing is just scaling an image. You're just resizing it to whatever. I don't know. Doesn't make sense.
The hell is Jackbox Games?
Survey says we play Jackbox games via Zoom with our relatives in Canada. It must be a Canadian thing.
that would explain it.
Jackbox.
Yeah, I don't know.
The Jack Box. I've never heard of the Jack Box before.
Jack in the Box.
Jack in the Box. Yep.
Yep.
Good burgers.
Well, what do you think, man? Should we move on to the news?
Yeah. Do I need to hit one of these buttons over here?
Sure.
Yeah, that was it. I didn't trust myself, so I stopped it. We need to label these things for me. I don't know how this fucking board works. In the news. Oh,
Ooh.
yeah.
Yeah. What weather apps do you use on your phone?
Well, it just so happens I use Dark Sky.
Oh, well, how about that? So do I.
I do. Weather
not-
apps,
not-
though, are hard to come by, like to find a good one, because there's a bunch of them that are ranked really high, and then you get in there and they suck. Like they have a bunch of advertisements, or they don't have radar, or something like that. So it's really hard to know, even if it's highly rated, which one's a good one.
What do you look for, like in a weather app? Like, what are the most important qualities of the app itself?
I do like the aesthetics. I do like the visuals of the app, so it has to look cool. Like I remember when I think it was the Weather Channel, or one of them in the beginning came out, and they were the first one to have. If it was stormy, the whole background would be stormy with rain on the screen.
Oh, right.
you
I
know.
remember that. Yeah.
So I like that kind of visual. That was cool. But now that I have the whole ecosystem, like the iPad, the watch, it has to have, like go to all those things. So I like it on the sidebar or whatever they call it.
So it has to be cross-platform, right? Is what you're saying?
I don't care so much about Windows versus Mac. I'm just saying that I want it to have a good widget for my Apple Watch.
Okay.
And I want to see it on the, what do they call the little sidebar? Like where all the widgets go on the iPhone.
Oh, yeah. I think those are widgets as well.
Just widgets. Maybe it's just a widget. Yeah. So I like it has to have good widget capability. That's what I like. Good
All right.
widgets and a good visual.
It's got to be a good widget. All right.
A good widget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the reason that I was drawn to Dark Sky was accuracy of the data. I feel like they're tremendously accurate with when rain is going to start, that type of stuff. Like
Oh.
the reason that I really started using it was back when I worked at my previous company. I would bike to work pretty much every day,
Mm-hmm.
and you could have or subscribe to rain alerts in Dark Sky, and so I think you could even set the granularity. So if I wanted to say like, oh, in 20 minutes, if it's going to rain, like notify me so I can be aware on my commute if it's going to rain on me or not. That's what really sold me on it, is those types of alerting mechanisms. And I've been kind of just sold on it ever since with its accuracy. Like I've not found any other one to be nearly as accurate as Dark Sky is.
I like Dark Sky. There's a few things that I'm not crazy about. I wish it was easier to scroll between different cities, because I do check the weather in a lot of cities all the time.
Okay.
And so, like, for example, if I open Dark Sky and I'm looking right now, it's 47. But if I try to swipe, I don't get any swipe action. It doesn't do shit. And I wish it would swipe to another city. But
Why? I have a bunch of cities. So I have like the one that's GPS.
Yep.
Then I have Seattle. Then I have Albert City, which is my hometown. Then I have Crystal Mountain, and I just keep swiping through them. Denver is on there.
Well, I'm doing something wrong then, because I have to like go to search and then pull it up. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe it's not.
Yeah, you got to add them to your saved locations, my man.
Well, fuck that. Why do I have to go through all these steps? I should just should just show up. This is bullshit, man.
The only other good one that I've really heard, at least on iOS, is I think it's called Carrot Weather. A lot of people seem to like that one quite a lot. But beyond that, this one I know a lot of our friends tend to use quite a bit. And the reason we bring it up is because recently Apple, well, I think it was yesterday, Apple acquired Dark Sky.
It was yesterday, huh?
I think it was yesterday or the day before.
Oh, drag search is up here to save 6 locations. I was trying to figure out how the hell that was supposed to work. Yeah,
there you go.
This isn't very intuitive, I got to tell you.
This is why you come to the Coffee and Codecast, is to solve your problems with your weather apps.
Bullshit, because if Dave designed this, it would be a lot easier. I'll tell you that much. It's a pain in my ass right here.
Well, it's an opportunity because now Apple owns it and nobody can use their API anymore. So that was another thing that was pretty cool about Dark Sky, is you could get a key for their API and anybody could kind of remix it or use the data however they wanted. So I know our good friend Rain, he had this application that he put up on his fridge, kind of through like not an iPad, but like a Android tablet or something. And it would list like the bus schedule from one bus away, so he knew exactly when to leave on the bus. And then it also had a weather widget from Dark Sky, and I think there was a few other widgets on there as well, and it was really well done. But again, done through their API, which is going to be made unavailable as part of this acquisition.
That's too
So-
bad. I don't like to hear that.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate because that was kind of one of the really cool things about this is people could utilize, their weather data all over the place. So it's going to be known now as Dark Sky by Apple,
By Apple.
real original.
So it's
Yeah.
not going to replace the weather app yet. It's just going to be another Apple weather app.
Not so far, yeah. I mean, well, the Apple Weather app right now, I believe, relies upon either Yahoo Weather or Weather Underground. I can't remember which, one or the other. So it's not even they're not getting their own data, or they don't own their own data. So I mean, this should give them their own source. I would believe.
Okay.
And then they're gonna, of course, because it's an Apple product. So now the Android app, which they did have before, is gonna go away immediately. Like you can't download it any longer.
I love that.
And
That's
then
actually
you-
kind of funny.
And then if you did have it, you can't. You can use it till July 1st, and then it'll just cease to work.
Stop working.
Yeah.
Well, that's shitty. If you use the API, you're kind of hosed. That's too bad.
Yeah. It's a little bit disappointing. Like I like Apple, don't get me wrong. I like Apple products, but I really love Dark Sky, and it kind of bums me out to see it go from like an indie-ish type operation to one of the big players.
So I've got a bone to pick about Apple since we're on the topic right now. I went running yesterday, and I wanted to listen to some music on my watch, and it's been very difficult. I have the cell service on the watch. I pay for the cell service on the watch. It is damn near impossible to get live music on the fucking watch. Have you tried this? Have you figured this out?
It's I think only certain apps support it. I think the APIs are available, but I think only certain apps have made those leaps forward.
Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out, because last fall they made a big announcement that they were going to open up the APIs so that you could use the audio API or whatever it was for your own apps. But I haven't seen anything from Spotify yet, and everything I find online, Spotify is still not using those APIs for whatever reason. I don't know if they're not available yet, but that was like their big thing that they talked about last year at one of the Mac, product. I think it was WWDC last year. Actually, they talked about, oh yeah, we're going to open up the API so people can use audio on their apps, and that hasn't happened yet.
Yeah.
So in a scramble, I had to download Apple Music, which fuck that. I don't really use it. I pay for Spotify, so now I have another thing that I'm trying out, and it worked, but it just wasn't the experience I wanted. I wanted to go running. Instead, I had to stop and download some bullshit app and like sign up for it, and then find a playlist that I wanted to listen to, and then I could go.
I hear you. I had the same issue fairly recently. I think it was when I was in Palm Springs. I wanted to go do a run, and I wanted to listen to podcasts. So same problem, but on the podcast side.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the podcast apps want you to like sync the episodes from your phone to the watch versus streaming them directly from the web.
Yeah, I'm not going to sync music, man. What am I going to... This is not an MP3 player from like 2004, man. Fucking sync music. Let me plug in my USB and sync some music for this run, dude. Fuck that. Like, I pay for the cell so I can download it now, man. What's up with that?
And then once you try to like, it also is frustrating too, because unless you disable like fully Bluetooth on your phone or something, you don't know what the hell is playing, what the source is.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like if you start playing music on your watch and it starts playing, it probably is playing through your phone. So unless you like leave the vicinity of your phone, you don't really know if like you are getting it streaming or not. So it's really hard to determine where the source is coming from.
That is really frustrating, because I've done that before where in the beginning I thought, okay, I'm playing music on the watch. I can go do whatever I want to do. And so I'll leave the phone somewhere, and then boom, cuts off because it's not connected anymore.
Yep.
Screw you, Apple. Make some better products.
And screw you, Gomer. I don't want to hear your Zune talk.
Yeah, Zune? Was he talking about Zune?
Zune.
What else
He
is
still
on
has
there?
one that works.
That's amazing.
Hey, Kim. Is Kim on? I don't think Kim's on today. She's been really quiet if she is. She kind of drops in sometimes.
Sometimes.
All right, I think I'm getting the soundboard now. By the end of the hour, I'm going to play these enough times that I'll understand where shit's at.
That's good. You're working on it.
I'm doing great. Very good. There we go.
You're doing great.
All
Slayer
right.
has some good playlists. What kind of... Yeah, he's a very good music curator, by the way. If you're looking for music, Slayer's your go-to guy.
Is it going to be 100% Metallica 100% of the time?
No. I mean, he does have that playlist, 100% Metallica, 100% of the time. But that's a big one on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever. But no, Slayer's kind of got a little. That's his niche. Oh, Kim is on. Hey, Kim. How about that? Good to see you, Kim. Slayer's thing is music, and so like you'll have to experience this sometime, but you can pretty much pick a song and he'll tell you what album, what year, and what the album cover looks like. It's very bizarre.
Ooh, this sounds like a fun game.
It's super fun. We've gone down this rabbit hole a few times with him, and it's pretty amazing. I don't know.
Sounds like a future episode of the Coffee and Codecast to me.
That's it for 1 hour. Next week is going to be
Exactly.
music hour for 60 minutes. We're going to have Slayer in the hot seat here, and he's going to be telling it. We're going to throw songs at him rapid fire. Anybody can jump in on the chat, and then he'll tell us the album, the year.
Oh man, I love it. Let's do this, Matt. If you agree to this, let me know or let the chat know, and we'll make this happen.
He's good. He told me to do it. Oh, he said in. There you go. He's in.
There we go. It's done.
So there you go. Next Tuesday, will be episode 67 will be Music Hour with Slayer. There, we'll get your musical ideas queued up now, guys. It's gonna be a fun one. Boom, and then we'll play like a 10-second snippet of it before we get cut off on Facebook and YouTube.
That's true. I can name that song in 2
In
notes.
2 notes. Doo-doo. Good. We're just bow down when you need it, man.
I was just gonna say, as long as it's West Side Connection.
He might need to brush up on his rap. He's pretty good, but like that might be a little stretch there. I think his wheelhouse is mostly rock, and yeah, you tell the Ginger you'll be drinking that night. That's for damn sure. We'll get the whiskey out for that one. I'll send some bottles of wine down to 712. Hey, Chris Applin's on too. See, this is a banner night. We're getting all kinds of people from all over the place, man. I love it. The audience base is growing here. Miley Cyrus hour. That's great.
Party in the USA, buddy.
Mm-hmm. All right. What else we got here?
I wanted to talk a quick bit. We talk a lot about Robinhood and stocks and investing and all that kind of crap. I wanted to just kind of get your thoughts on where you're at right now and what you're doing with Robinhood, because you have, not only do you have obviously your 401k and your IRA, but you have your little Robinhood challenge that you do with your buddies.
Well, yesterday was the end of the first quarter. So,
Who's getting steak dinner?
well, the steak dinner is an annual thing. So, right,
Okay.
the steak dinner is an annual. Who wins the year? But the free drink. So the way it works is we go to the Met every quarter, and then if you win the quarter, everybody gets a $25 whiskey or bourbon or whatever, scotch, but you don't have to pay for it. You don't pay for yours, right? You get yours for free. So that's nice. You get a free scotch. I won last quarter, Q4. I lost by just a couple percentage points, like 3 percentage points yesterday. And I was getting a little foolish. I didn't even know this. I kind of put myself in a bad situation because if I would have just pooled all my funds and just let the market tank yesterday, I probably would have won. But I was trying to play the market and try to see if I could make some money. But the problem is I was buying and selling stocks, and then I got an update that I was like in danger of going into day trader mode. Have you seen this before?
No.
Yeah, I've never done this before. Usually I just buy something and let it sit there for a while, and then I'll sell some of it and put it into something else. Well, I was making rapid swaps yesterday, and after 3 or 4 of them, I got a pop-up that if I did one more, they would classify me as a day trader. And I guess the only way you can continue to do that is if you have a bigger balance. You have to have like $25,000 in Robinhood to do day trading.
So what is that? Oh, so that's per day. So there's a limit on per day number of trades.
Yeah, if you don't want to be classified as a day trader, that's right. Then you're limited.
How many were you doing?
I mean, they stopped me at 4 or 5. I was trying to do a few more, but I bought into like GE and it was up for a little bit, and then it started to take a dive, so I wanted to get out of that. And then I was just in an act of desperation. I was trying to make some money by the end of the day so I could beat out my competition, and it ended up costing me. I didn't want to go into day trader mode, so I just left some of the shit in there, and it didn't do very hot. But oh well.
Well, speaking of desperation, not in Robinhood necessarily, but I took and sold off everything I had in my IRA. Like, it's still in there. The money is still there, just like in a what do you want to say? It's like unallocated.
So
So
you're
it's
just like
it's
you're on the
it's
bench
just
right
sitting
now.
there in like a savings, more or less, right?
Oh, interesting, man. Why'd you do that?
Because I don't expect the markets to be doing real well in the next couple of weeks, personally. But
I mean, I guess that's the other question. When are you going to put it back into the market?
When I start seeing shit showing signs of recovery.
Okay, so you're just trying to time the market a little bit here is all you're doing. You're just taking it out for a little bit and you'll pop it back in a little later.
That's the hope. Yeah, I mean, theoretically, it could go up tomorrow, obviously, but I feel like the current state that we're in, I feel like we're going to continue that trajectory for a little bit longer. So yeah, once it really tanks out to the bottom, then I'll throw back in and hopefully reap benefits. Could screw me, who knows? But
yeah, I mean, timing the market's a very difficult thing to do, but I mean, I hear where you're coming from. So we'll have to follow up with that one for sure. I'd like to see how that works out.
it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I mean, I did it yesterday night, actually too late in the trading window. For whatever reason on Fidelity, you can't. It's not immediate, right? They sell it at the end of the next day.
Okay, that's like how Robinhood works.
I thought Robinhood you could do them more immediate.
Well, okay, wait a second. During the trading window, it's immediate, but then once
So,
it
like,
goes
give you an
into-
example. So I did that last night, and the transactions were made at the end of trading today.
Yeah, that does seem late because I think in Robinhood, even if I did it in the evening, it would post by the time trading started the next day.
Yeah, exactly. So it's almost immediate, at least in terms of the markets being open. So that sucks a little bit. But like just today, I mean, I think I lost several grand, just because of that 1 day window.
Wow. Okay.
Just gonna sit on it for a couple weeks, see what the markets do, and then buy back in. I figure, at this point I've lost quite a bit already.
Yeah.
I'd like to maintain some of what I have left. So if I lose a little bit on the way back up, I'm okay with that. I'll jump back in when it's a little better.
Cool, man. No, other than messing around with Robinhood, I'm more of the Ronco dehydrator variety, man. Set it and forget it. I just leave that shit in there right now. It's tanking. It's going down pretty hard, and I'm going to ride it back up later. I'm still investing, so I'm still putting contributions into retirement account and investment accounts on a monthly basis. I think that comes out tomorrow, but I figure, I'm buying it on sale, so I'm happy about that.
You definitely are now, and I'm doing the same thing with like my 401k. I haven't touched that. This is just the IRA account, and Robinhood I don't really do because I'm playing with $35 at this point in Robinhood, so it's not a lot to lose. But yeah, just thought it was an interesting time, and figured I would see what your current thoughts were on investment strategy.
I'm actually thinking about pouring in. I shouldn't say pouring in, but putting in a few $100s more into Robinhood, just so I can get a little more selective with stock picking, because I do have Microsoft right now. They're on sale. They're like $1.55, something like that, which is pretty good for them. They were almost up to 200. What else? I was doing. So CRISPR was what made me money in the fourth quarter, man. I put all my money into CRISPR, and that thing went up from like the 50s all the way up to 72 when I pulled out of there, and so that was great. I won the quarter on that alone. And CRISPR's back down again, so I might ride it back up one more time.
And I thought CRISPR, didn't they just announce something pretty major in that space? Thought I just saw something about them.
I don't remember. I can look it up.
Yeah, I don't see anything super obvious.
CRISPR.
Yeah, CRISPR could be used to fight COVID.
Yeah, I mean, it's low. It's $38, dude. It's like almost half of what it was when I got out of it. It'll go back up again too, so that'd be a good one. CRSP, CRISPR Therapeutics. That's your professional. That's your unprofessional advice. Throw it all into CRISPR and watch it go back up at some point. Might take a while.
Yeah,
but I like CRISPR. I'm putting money in that. Microsoft. I put my money in Microsoft. They're at 150 right now. They're down there.
I heard there was this company that makes devices, coffee devices of some kind. I think they'd be a good.
You better shut your. There's another button I need Slayer to put on here. You shut your dirty whore mouth. That's another Slayerism that I'd like to capture on this soundboard over here.
You telling me Spin Coffee isn't heavily traded right now?
You know what? I did get a Spin update yesterday.
What's in the update?
I gotta find it. It's just ridiculous. I'm not gonna read all this. It would take me 45 minutes to read through this shit again. China.
Shit again. It's the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah,
we can't do anything.
It must be up to date because now all the photos from the factory have people wearing face masks. So it's got to be legitimate. It must be new. This can't. I don't think there's enough time for stock photography to catch up to the coronavirus. So this has to be legitimate from the show floor. Slowly emerging from its battle against COVID. Blah blah blah. We're starting to get back to normal. Backlogs in production that piled up between Chinese New Year and now are currently being cleared. So factory's running at about 50%. They said, and the assembly line. Yada, yada, yada. It's all part of this global supply chain that they're trying to figure out what they're going to do because there's delays in parts. So that's the next thing. They're putting together what they have in the facility right now. There's a delay on parts, but I don't know how this is good news. Right now, we are waiting in line behind Fortune 500 companies to get our own production line geared up again, which is good news. Like, does that mean we're waiting behind all 500 companies? I mean, that sounds fucked up, man. Like, how long are we going to be waiting to get back to the production line again? And then, on and on and on about what their teams are doing, current events. There's not a lot of content about the Spin Coffee Maker, per se. They're talking about a lot of current events in the world and about how they use Jira and Slack.
That's what I was just going to ask, how their Jira installation was going.
Yeah, their team has been geographically distributed across the globe for many years, and they leverage Jira, Slack, and SolidWorks that allows us to work safely and securely from any location without internet. Oh, with an internet connection. Yep, that's good. They like working face-to-face, but since they can't, they're doing it remotely. That's fantastic. They did get new investment from the core investors. I'm not sure who's giving them money right now, but apparently they got another round of investment. And, yep, they're working remotely, so there's a bunch of pictures. The coffee nose, Wouter Brunya.
He's sniffing coffee at home.
He's like in some shed in his backyard sniffing coffee on the Spin Coffee Maker. He just pisses me off now because he's had a Spin Coffee Maker for like 6 fucking months, man. Like, how come he's got one and nobody else does? Yeah, there's just pictures of everybody else working from home, hanging out on their patio. Some early backers enjoying their machine that we aren't enjoying. So they have photos of the Spin in different people's homes.
Kaplan's got some questionable advice here to buy Boeing stock.
So he says buy Boeing, and when the MAX gets its certification back, sell on the high date. Oh, interesting.
I don't think that's an investment I'm willing to make.
Interesting. Buy now. I mean, you're going to make a lot.
What is Boeing stock at?
You're going to make a lot of money. It's only at 150 right now. I think it's something like around 150.
But you see, they got to survive the next couple of weeks, months.
They're not going to go under, though.
Hopefully.
They're at 130. There's no way, dude. You're talking about too big to fail. The government's not going to let that happen. We just came up with $6 trillion last week, man. We can give them another 5. I mean,
yeah.
It's just paper being printed, man. What the hell's the difference?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, Boeing. So, I mean, here's the deal, dude. In February, so Valentine's Day, they're at 340. And they're at 132.95.
I've got a better investment for you. My good friends at Tesla.
Yeah.
What do you mean, yeah? That stock is gone.
How can you just brush off? I just want to finish the Boeing thing. How can you brush off Boeing? They just lost $210 in like a month. And that's they lost 2/3 of their value in a month. You don't think that's a good investment?
I'm just saying, like Tesla was trading at what, $1,000 before all this craziness happened. Now they're down at 486.
Yeah, back down to reality, if you ask me.
There you go.
I actually do think Tesla's a good buy. It's just Boeing for its price at 132 is pretty attractive. Actually, I'm going to pick up some Boeing on this Robinhood round and see if I can.
All right. See, now we got a couple things we can watch. These are going to be interesting gambles.
Well, I only have my initial investment in the Robinhood was $500, so I can't. If I bought Tesla, I'd have one share. You know, like I need a little more action than that. I could buy.
So you're
some
just saying you
Microsoft,
could
Boeing.
double your money.
Well, it would have been a good move. I will tell you this, like that yesterday when I was doing all the bullshit with GM and everybody else, it would have been smarter for me to sell off everything and put it into Tesla because I think they made $50 yesterday. So I definitely would have probably won the round if I did that.
$50 up yesterday, 42 down today. So yeah, wouldn't have made much difference. But I guess you would have won for
I would have won the quarter, and then I don't care. I got another 90 days to figure it out. But no, I'm definitely interested in Boeing. I think that's a good buy. That's forget about Jim Cramer. You heard it here first, folks. By Boeing. Anyway, the Corona Spin Coffee Maker coronavirus update. That's pretty much it. They're introducing some new team members, so they're still hiring apparently, and they're working on the app. And they would really love it if you ordered some coffee from the app, even though you don't have a coffee maker to make it in.
Just buy beans at this point, huh?
Just buy beans. Throw them in the freezer, man. They're good for a while. That's about it. Wow. There was a lot in there. A lot to do about nothing. So they're still trying to manufacture them, assemble them at the plant in China.
You know, I'm kind of disappointed now that we did the Spin Coffee update, because the whole reason when we started the show here and I told you that we had found the wacky weed clip from Joseph,
Uh-huh.
the whole reason that I had found that we still had it, is that I was adding the coffee pour sound effect for the Spin Coffee update. I was prepping for this segment. You know, we talked about, like, before you'd have like the coffee pouring sound, or you'd have the espresso. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's in there. I mean, you can play it if you want to go to the. Here, I'll give you the.
I don't have
just
it.
so we. What?
I don't have it anywhere.
Oh yes, you do.
Where the hell is it?
Here, I'm going to send you this. There you go. You can get it.
You have.
You can also get the wacky weed sound effect too if you want.
They're gonna find out we're smoking the wacky weed. Did you send that in the Google Drive? Oh, it is in there. Let's see. Do I still have some stuff playing? No, I don't. Nothing's playing currently.
We're pros here, man. We're going to get this one way or another.
I don't know if it'll play right in the browser.
I find out I smoked the wacky weed.
Hey, there's Joseph Bully. He's gonna love that a lot. I can tell you right now. He's a big fan of that. What the fuck?
Hey, we got the Spin Coffee update.
It sounded like
or
something
somebody
floating
taking a
in the
leak.
bathtub or something there. Yeah, I don't know. That's not exactly the coffee sound I was thinking of, man. I don't know. Was that a free stock sound bite that you picked off the internet there?
Might have been. I don't remember where I got it.
Oh, damn, dude. That's pretty good. And the rest of those we're not going to play. Pretty
Nope.
good.
What else are we talking about?
So that's it. The Spin Coffee update. My Robin Hood by Boeing, by Microsoft. That's my unofficial advice. And the Rainmaker's on as well. Hey, Rain, how you doing? You wanted to talk about some Apple updates last week. We never got to that.
We didn't. I don't really have a lot to say about them. They're not that impressive. So if you had anything else you wanted to talk about, we can run with that.
No, the LiDAR thing was interesting. So the new iPad Pro comes with LiDAR sensors, one of the sensors on the back camera.
Which is what? Like that's a depth perception type of sensor, right? Same thing. Well, Tesla doesn't use them, but other self-driving cars do.
Yeah, dude, the lighting is killing me in here. I'm getting like a direct shot of sun. I got to keep backing up. There we go.
Oh yeah, shining off the forehead there.
Yeah, it's some big glare coming in. We only have 12 minutes left. It's fine. We can deal with it. Yeah, it is. That's exactly what it is. It does like you can do 3D imaging with it and all kinds of crazy shit. I'm not sure all the applications for it, but the demos looked very cool. Like, you know, you could do more with staging a room or like designing a home or something like that. And many other things.
It's all AR functions, right?
All AR to the next level, yeah. But, you know, seeing some reviews on YouTube, it sounded like unless you were in a very niche application or industry that used it, the average user is not going to benefit much from it. So unless there's applications that come out taking advantage of it for like photos or something, I don't know. It's probably just more frills at this point.
I feel like that's kind of true of AR in general. Like most people are not going to use it. Like it's fun as like a gimmick.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like anything has come out with a practical use that like really kind of takes it to the next level or makes it like a household type thing that everybody would use.
Right. I agree with that.
You know, like the little measuring app or whatever that Apple has. I think it's in the camera or whatever. Like
You use that?
cute. No.
Yeah, I always forget
Like,
that it's in
I've
there.
tried it once or twice, and like it's usually frustrating, and I don't end up using it. But I've tried it, but I don't feel like it's that useful.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, the new keyboards, that's the other thing. Did you like I thought the stand looked pretty slick, the stand/cover that they had. So now the screen is set.
It's elevated.
It's elevated.
Yeah.
I like that.
Those look really cool. Those are really slick. Like especially the side profile shots look really, really cool because everything's super thin.
So in
you know,
theory, I could get that with this iPad Pro that I have, but I don't know if I want to spend the money. Isn't that like a $300 or $400 keyboard?
probably. I mean, they do charge what $900 for a monitor stand, don't they?
Monitor stand, dude, for the Mac Pro. That's insane. For the stand,
View pricing.
$9.99.
This is called Magic Keyboard.
Magic keyboard. Yeah,
What do you have? The 11-inch or the 12.9?
the 11, the small.
That is a $300.
300 bones, dude.
What was your iPad worth?
Probably closer to $1,000.
Okay, so it's not so bad. I was gonna say if your iPad was 400 and your keyboard's 3.
No, because maybe it wasn't quite 1,000, but it wasn't cheap because I think it has more memory, and although it doesn't have the cell chip on it, so it's just Wi-Fi. I don't know. Everything's expensive over there anymore.
Yeah. But yeah, it's a super nice looking keyboard. It actually has a trackpad on it, which is a first for Apple, allowing a kind of mouse interaction with iPad.
That is very cool, actually. And I don't know if you saw this, but there were people demoing Visual Studio Code in the browser on an iPad, and they were getting code to compile and build.
Now that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you could make that happen, those types of functions are, to me, the thing that is keeping the iPad from becoming an actual productive machine versus like a household, just like check the internet, do various tasks, those types of things. Like you could, at this point, if you can do those types of things, you can make this like a production machine that you can use day to day.
I'm with you, and I would love for that to happen. I didn't expect this going into it. I got the iPad because I had one of the early ones, one of the first models, and I thought it was a nice to have. I liked it for reading news and email and that sort of thing. But I have to say, even this one, the iPad Pro, I use this all the time for everything. Like, it's a part of my regular workflow at the office.
As a second monitor or what?
So all the many things. Like I do use it. I bought Duet, and so I was using it with my Windows machine as a secondary display, but I don't really like how it's working. I don't know if I need to reconfigure it, but it's been a little iffy. Like, I was using it in Vegas when I was there a few weeks ago, and it just wasn't working great, so I just ditched that. What I do now is I just load up something like Teams. I'll put Teams on the iPad, and then I'll just use the Surface for whatever email and that sort of thing that I'm working on, and then I just do Teams. The thing I like about using the iPad for Teams is that there's a lot of meetings during the day, and I have my AirPods, and I just pop those in, and it's like easy video conference. I don't have to worry about Bluetooth pairing with Windows or having headphones plugged in.
Nice.
And
I think one of the
really
other
convenient.
really cool things about this new Magic Keyboard is that it gives you a USB-C connection in like the hinge of the keyboard. So like where the actual keyboard lays flat and then it hinges up to kind of stand the iPad up, like up in the air.
Mhm.
There in that kind of hinge mechanism, there's a charging port or a USB port. And I think the reason that's important is that it frees up the port that's on the actual iPad Pro itself to do something else. Whereas before, if you wanted to charge, that's all you could pretty much do, right? You couldn't
Right.
plug a peripheral into it.
No, that's great. That's a nice add-on as well. It's becoming a computer. It's practically there. It's the new OS. I don't know that it's going to replace OS 10.
Have you? So there's isn't there a new version of iPad OS or something like that? They released a new version of that too recently.
That sounds familiar, but I don't know. I know there's a new version of Mac OS. I think OS 10 15.4 or something. I can't remember now. There's another version of that. I love this. I got to give him a hard time later. So Adam Johnson's blowing me up on Messenger. Just messages, SMS. Hey, I want to get a quarantine podcast going with my buddies. What's the best remote app for us to use? And I didn't respond because we're doing this cast right now. And then he's like, recording app for us to all dial into. And he's just like shooting questions over here. Damn it, Ace. You're supposed to be listening to my podcast right now. And I'll get back to your shit later, man.
Let's get him on the podcast talking about how to set up a podcast. How about that?
That's very meta of you, man. I like that. That's a great idea.
We got 2 episodes set up just on this one episode.
That's
We're
right.
square for 2 weeks.
We're gonna have Adam on to talk about how to start your own podcast, and then in between questions, we're gonna have the Slayer music competition, the old album off with Slayer.
This is gonna be great.
It's gonna be a really fun episode. We're gonna have a great time. Kim's right on the money. She said the AirPods don't mess your hair up. That's the other reason why I got them too.
Which is
mess up
extremely
your hair.
important this day and age because right now we can't get haircuts and my hair is very long.
Yeah, that's true. I saw you on FaceTime the other day, and like it's getting a little lengthy in the front there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm thinking about, I don't know what the hairdo's called. I'm sure there's a name for it, but like where you shave the sides and then like you kind of comb the top over. You know what I'm talking about?
A little comb over.
Well, like, but the sides are shaved like up high and then you like comb the top over that's a little bit longer. You know what I'm talking about?
I know what you're talking about, but I have no idea what the hell that's called.
I don't either, but that's what I'm going to do here pretty soon just because I can't handle like hair touching my ears. It drives me insane.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You're going to do like a little DIY, just like shave the sides up yourself.
Exactly, yep.
Got it. Okay. Yeah, that's good. I have clippers, but I get my hair very short. So I usually have them do like a 1 or a 0 on the sides. So even though we're like a month out, you can't really see that. It's pretty good, man. I don't have any issues on the sides here.
Yeah, I think I was due about the time that all this went down, so I, couldn't get in at the end of the or right before the lockdown occurred. So, yep, I'm well overdue at this point.
Kelso, you bet your ass, man. That's the whole point of the music off. You can submit your own. Well, you can't really submit albums. You can submit song titles that you want the Slayer to guess which album and artist and year and what the album cover looks like. If that's what you're talking about.
What the album cover looks like. So is he going to, like, some of those are pretty abstract. So how the hell is he going to be able to guess that?
Oh, he can do it, man. I've seen him do it before. It's
okay.
I don't even want to give away the magic. I don't know how he does it, but it's very impressive. I don't know. I don't know what to say about it. It's a little bizarre. I think that's what I'm trying to say. It's a little bizarre, too, but it's very impressive overall. Very cool shit.
I'm looking forward to that. We should make that happen. And then the other thing that would be good about that episode is we could actually get a more high-quality, high-res version of the You're Doing Great.
You're doing great. Oh, not that one.
You're doing great.
It's the grunt at the beginning that just... There you go.
You're doing great.
Exactly.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know.
You're in the
Thank you.
same building too, so I mean, you guys, you could social distance while doing the podcast.
How the hell are we going to do that?
What do you mean? You could just sit across like one person on one side of the room, one side on the other. It'd be fine.
We're going to get a lot of flack for that, man. Like, that's going to be the one thing that's going to get us in trouble. Someone's going to see that, and then some a-hole in Seattle, because you've been reading the articles, like there's people looking out windows, like reporting people walking around or doing unsafe practices.
What the fuck are you talking about? The Coffee Codecast is essential business, dude.
It is essential business. I agree. Keeping everybody's sanity in check over here.
Exactly. This was a fun episode.
Yeah, this was pretty good for throwing shit together again. 66 times in a row. Next week will be pretty good. I love that we had everybody on, though. That was a good crew. It was
a lot of fun. There was a lot of people chipping in.
Yeah.
Chipper.
Thank you. That's right. Doing a good homage to the wood chipper here. I appreciate that. We didn't get to your topic today on scheduled versus ad hoc deployments, but I think our audience probably feels spared by that one right now. We can talk about that later. Good. It's a good topic for the technical audience, the DevOps audience here.
Kind of the
Scheduled versus
topic
ad
is kind of our fail-safe. Like if we chew through the news or through other bullshit that we want to talk about too quickly, then we go to the topic. It's just kind of like the fallback.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Very good, man. Anything else you got before we wrap this one up?
Got nothing.
Oh, there you go.
Stay safe. That's what you end all meetings with now. Stay safe.
Stay safe. All right. Well, thanks for listening to the Coffee and Codecast. Is this when I start? I don't even know how to do the ending, man.
Do it. I want to hear you.
You gotta sound like you. Thanks for listening to the Coffee Codecast. Our artwork here is provided by Yurnay, the Gentle Giant. Check out more of his work at coffeecodecast.com/gentlegiant. You can check us out on Facebook and Twitter or email us at coffeecodecast@gmail.com. The podcast is available wherever you get your podcasts, and of course, you can find all this and more on our website, coffeecodecast.com. If you like the show, jump on over to coffeecodecast.com/review and help us out with a quick review, rating, and a few words. As always, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.
That was really well done, buddy.
Thank you so much.